Have you ever found yourself avoiding social interactions? Do you prefer socializing with others through your digital devices? Dr. Larry Rosen, Professor Emeritus of Psychology at California State University, Dominguez Hills, explains in the Wall Street Journal, May 10, 2015. I have studied the impact of technology for 30 years. In that time, three major game changers have entered our world: portable computers, social communication, and smartphones. The total effect has been to allow us to connect more with people in our virtual world, but communicate less with those who are in our real world. We have been given these great digital devices, and although it has helped us with some forms of communication, we as human beings are losing that physical interaction with one another. Today I'll be talking about technology affecting our social lives, the lack of social skills individuals have, and what can be done to prevent the lack of social skills. First, let's discuss how technology is affecting our social lives. So we now live in a world where we can't go without our phones, laptops, smartwatches, so we begin to rely on them. Now, don't get me wrong, I understand the importance of having to make calls or emails, but when is it too much? Kids nowadays spend their time playing on their Nintendo Switch, playing video games on their TV, or watching videos on their parents' laptop. Where's the part where they go outside and play physically with other kids, like tag and hide and go seek and stuff like that? We're teaching children that this is normal and you can play this way too, but will this affect them as they grow up? According to Haley Skyema, writing on November 2nd, 2015 for the WashingtonPost.com, claims, for tweens, those between the ages of 8 and 12, the average is nearly 6 hours per day that is spent using technology. This just goes to show how many hours kids spend using technology and how concerning it is that they spend almost half their day using technology at such a young age. So I am aiming this more towards kids because they are the future and they are the ones that are going to be affected a lot more. They're growing up thinking that this is normal, whereas people from this is just a range, 1950 to 2010, have grown up with not having much technology, so social interactions have been something we were taught. Despite a majority of us being stuck to our devices, we still grew up with social interactions, so we're used to it and it's not something that feels weird or uncomfortable most of the time. Now I'll be talking about the lack of social skills individuals have started gaining since the uprising of technology. In Maddie French's article, writing on April 12, 2017 for university.byu.edu, discusses Nate Johnson, whom is a father of 4, about the lack of physical interaction from his children, claiming, instead of a kid coming home interacting with people, they hop on an electronic device, and this is a real challenge. We have to communicate in person, so whether it is face-to-face with their peers or parents, kids are hindered from developing relationships because kids are used to texting. Kids are getting used to interacting with people through their digital devices instead of doing it face-to-face. When they do come across to having a physical social interaction, it'll be weird and uncomfortable for them because they're not used to it. To add to that, in a study of 775 adults from ages 18 to 91 published in Health Communication November 6, 2017, Chris Segrin found that poor social skills were associated with poor mental health and physical health through evaluated stress and increased loneliness. We are leading not only children but people to have a bad pathway in their lives where they'll be anxious talking to others, maybe even develop social anxiety because of technology. So this is teaching kids to be shy and anxious because they're always behind their screen, that they're not going to be used to it when they're in a class and they have to communicate with others because they've always had that screen in front of them, so it's going to be abnormal for them, to say the least. Now that I have discussed how technology is affecting social lives and the lack of social skills individuals have, I will now be talking about what can be done to prevent those social skills. Nicole Shitsukin offers solutions on the Odyssey online July 3rd, 2016, suggesting, when you get to a restaurant, everyone put their phones in the middle of a table. This will hopefully prevent people from being tempted to look at their phones. Don't rely on technology or apps for dating. Build up your confidence and don't be hesitant to talk to someone walking down a street or a bar. These suggestions that were made can be used for everyone, especially for parents who have kids. No phones while eating and encouraging them to talk to their peers. We get so involved with technology that when we come across having to talk physically to someone, we freeze, and it's not good. So we need to break these walls and help one another overcome this stage. Parents need to spend more time with their kids doing outdoor activities, and limit the time spent on digital devices. Teachers need to encourage students to talk to one another and have group activities where interaction is needed. If we all do our part, we won't suffer the consequences of being anxious or becoming depressed. Instead, we'll be normal people who are able to talk to one another without feeling anxious or having any of those effects. In conclusion, I have discussed how technology is affecting our social lives and the lack of social skills individuals have and what can be done to prevent those social skills. This is a serious matter because we don't know what this will be like in 100 years. Since technology is evolving so fast, we can change it now and fix what can be fixed. If teachers and parents do their part, since they spend most of their time with their students and kids, we'll definitely get somewhere and teach them that this is normal and interacting with people should be like this, not behind your screen. I also find it quite ironic that I'm talking to you about how bad technology is, yet this is the only way I can communicate with you guys. And thank you so much for listening.